Hare Krishna. So I would like to wish you all a very happy Janmasthami. The Janmasthami comes once in a year, but Krishna is eternally present amidst us, around us, and without us. So we might have heard this term called avatara. Avatara means to descend. Avatara doesn't mean the animation movie that we all are probably familiar with. It is to descend. So if you have to descend, you must be descending from a higher platform. So the Lord eternally is present in Vrindavan and he descends. He comes down to this material world. So I have been strictly told that I should adhere to the time and ensure that we go back to Temple Hall for our midnight Aarti. And I'll not take a lot of time. But believe me, the highest perfection of attending Janmashtami festival is if you get to hear about the birth, the activities, the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's a very, very, very special thing. Bhagavad Gita says, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo vetti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti swarjuna. Very interesting. The Lord who's Ajo, who's unborn, is taking birth. How do we understand? Why does he descend? What is the purpose behind Lord's coming down? Why, as an individual living in Massachusetts, having money, having come from India, being settled here, should I fast on Janmashtami? If it is a birthday of someone, we celebrate. We should have feast. There are so many of us who are fasting today till midnight. Why do we need to do that? So these are some of the things that probably we'll try to discuss or hear and understand. What is it that, the significance of Krishna's appearance in this material world? There is a very beautiful verse before we proceed. I want to say it. It's from Bhagavatam. It says, Ekanta labham vachaso napumsam. Ekanta labham is the highest gain. And there are many of us who would have ventured into some business, or there are people that we come across in our life who are very successful. Or if not, if you don't have any such acquaintance, you have not known anyone, we see from some magazines or articles or some news channels, some successful person, entrepreneur, and we like to hear what is their secret of success. How they could achieve that profit or gain in life. Krishna or Bhagavatam is telling Ekanta labham vachaso napumsam shushloka mauler gunavada mahu Ekanta labham vachaso napumsam. All of us, we hear so many things in our lives. So many varieties of interesting topics available in our life. But O thoughtful men and women, O devotees of the Lord, or aspirants to perfection in life, Bhagavatam is saying, Ekanta labham, highest gain, highest perfection for our years is Vachaso napumsam, Shushloka mauler gunavada mahu. Shushloka maule. We must have heard this word, Uttama Shloka. This is another name of the Lord, who is glorified with choicest words. The best of the words, the best of the poetry is used to depict and glorify the Lord because he is not like us. He is Supreme Lord. So another name is Shushluka Mauler. Ananta Shesh, from time immemorial, is trying to glorify the Lord, but he is not able to do. It's unlimited. Every day, every moment he is trying, but still the Lord is so merciful, so qualified, so much wonderful qualities that he has. Even if one goes on counting, he can't figure it out. There is a verse in Bhagavatam, it says, you may possibly count the entire sand particles in the material world or in the universe. You may be able to count the number of stars in the sky or the galaxies, but you can't count the glories of the Lord and the highest perfection, ekanta labham. If our ears get an opportunity to hear the glories, the activities, the qualities of the Lord from some authorized bona fide source, not some simply this thing, professional this, reciters or something, and then you get some dance in this thing, and then you go back, they'll be accompanied by some musical this thing. No. From a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada. Oh. Sushluka mole gunabada mahu. Shrutescha vividher upakrityayam katha sudhayam upasamprayogam. Katha sudhayam. This nectarian pastimes of the Lord, when we hear upasamprayogam, all the material miseries will come to a complete cessation. The highest perfectional gain of humanity is to engage in discussion of the activities and glories of the pious actor. Such activities are so nicely arranged in writing by the greatly learned sages that the actual purpose of the ear is served just by being near them. It's so wonderful. So first of all, I would like to congratulate you that you are all very fortunate. But before you get carried away and feel that you are the most fortunate people, we also have some important responsibility, something we should do when we have got this rarest of rare gift in life, valuable human form of life. Very valuable. Arthadam. Bhagavatam says, Labdhva sudurlabham idam bahusambhavante. After many, many births, going through so many varieties of living entities, some insects, ants, reptiles, birds, aquatics, we've got this human form of life. Labdhva sudurlabham, which is very, very rare. Bahusambhavante, after many, many births. Labdhva sudurlabham idam bahusambhavante. Manusyam arthadam anityam apiha dhiram. Arthadam is the most valuable thing. This means that we've got this human body. But this is anityam. We may look at our body, we may stand before the mirror, we may see how beautiful I'm looking, how nice I'm looking, but without our knowledge, very surreptitiously, very imperceptibly, time destroys us, decays our body, decomposes. It appears as if yesterday I was very young. I was going to school. I was wearing probably half pant or something. Now I have become grown, and I look gradually, that I was a young man at some point in time, full of enthusiasm, jest, vigor to achieve things. And slowly, but steadily and certainly, time, the force of time crosses us. And the effects of that we see in the form of wrinkles, the form of receding hairlines, teeth falling. Still we don't realize what is the purpose of life. Why did I come here? What am I doing? What am I supposed to achieve? Is the purpose of life just simply to live life just like so many other living entities are living? Grow up, the body is growing, get married, have some job, earn money, produce children, get them married, get them settled, and one day anyway you die and you go. Or is there anything more to it? Every thoughtful man and women, they should think about it. No universities, no college, no schools talk about this. The most confidential knowledge relevant to us, but we ignore this. How foolish our situation, how precarious, we don't really understand. How in the crossing wheel of time, by the influence of guna and karma, we are completely oblivious, ignorant to the real goal of life. We miss out that and get crushed and get finished one day and go out of this material world. That is why the most compassionate person in this world, the most compassionate, who's glorified with choicest words, the Supreme Lord descends. He comes from his own abode. There is no need for him to come. Absolutely no need. But he descends because he has so much of compassion for people like us who are averse, agnostic, atheistic. We don't care. We have so much of pride inside us. We feel we are in control of our lives. We don't need any Lord in our lives. The Lord still, despite all our ignorance, despite all our misbehavior, ignoring that, out of compassion, to relieve us, He descends. He descends. And when He descends, and when He performs His pastimes, of course, there are wonderful descriptions which are given when the Lord descends, what He does and why He does, and what is the purpose behind that. As all of you probably will be knowing, Bhagavad Gita says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyurthanam adharmasya tadatmanam smrijamyaham. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir. Whenever there is a decline of religious principles, now the moment you use the word religion, half of the people who are donating, they first say, no, I'm spiritual but not religious. Or I just want to support some animal care. I want to do something else. People have so many misconceptions, misunderstanding about the word religion. And there are so many varieties and divisions of religion available. People get confused. But the definition of religion as given in the scriptures is dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. The codes of principles, the religion means the codes of conduct is given by the Lord, the Creator. If you are staying here in Massachusetts, you got to obey the law of the land. You can't say that in India I used to drive in a different way, I used to have steering in another way, I'll follow what that I know. No. You have to obey the law of the land. This creation is done by the Supreme Lord, and dharma is coming from Him. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. We have to align and we have to adjust ourselves to come in line with that dharma which is enacted, which has been given by the Lord. And when there is a decline in religious principles, when people think, I can do anything that I want, I am in control of my life, I can just go on enjoying, exploiting this material resources, then the Lord has created something called the laws of nature. We get implicated. We get bound. Karmana daivanetrena jantur dehopapadyate. By our activities under the supervision of the Lord, we keep getting bodies after bodies after bodies. Actually, if a person becomes little sober, anityam apiha dhiram, that word that is used is, if a person becomes sober. What does the word sober mean? Sober means someone who is not bewildered by the change of bodies. Otherwise, this bodies, when they're constantly changing, when you're a small young boy or a girl, and then you suddenly see that you have become a grown-up person, you have nice biceps, the body is formed, and the Matajis, they look at the mirror and they do some makeups, make-downs, whatever it is. So there is a bewilderment looking at the change of our body. Bewilderment increases, accelerates, enhances when a person becomes young and he looks at the change of body of another opposite sex and gets attracted to it. Oh, she looks so beautiful. And for her, it's, oh, he looks so beautiful. So bewilderment becomes more compounded. If that is not enough, there is bewilderment due to change of our own bodies. There is bewilderment due to attraction for the opposite sex. And when they come, they get united. There is a child who's born. Another form. And the child is sometimes crying, sometimes laughing, sometimes not sure what he's doing. Little hair comes, one tooth comes. If it falls down, gets up, and the people are more bewildered. That's why this word is used in Bhagavad Gita. At the beginning, when Krishna begins to speak to Arjuna, he gives the spiritual instruction. He says, Dehinosmin yatha dehe, komaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara praptir, dhiras tatra namuhyati. Dehinosmin yatha dehe. There is a deha and dehi. Our body is deha. It is degrading, degenerating, decomposing. It is getting decayed. But Krishna's body is not like that. Janma, karma, chame, divyam. Somebody may question, okay, you are saying Krishna's body is not like that. How can you say? Krishna also goes through, transformation of body. We see that, he has got, he took birth as a baby. He grew, then he became a young person. How can you say that his bodies are not changing? The scriptures, Bhagavatam, very nicely describes It gives the example of a Vaidurya stone. A Vaidurya stone, if light is reflected, the same Vaidurya stone can look differently. Blue, green, yellow, red, the same stone. It can. So the Lord also, to enact different pastimes, he changes his form, but he's eternal. And beyond a certain age, he doesn't age. He remains like that. His body is made up of Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Whereas all our bodies, it is made up of the Pancha Mahabhuta. Bhumi Rapo Anala Vayu Kham Manobuddhi Revacha Ahankara Itiyam Me Bhinna Prakriti Rashtadha. Bhumi Rapo Anala Vayu. Bhumi Apo Anala Vayu. Kham. These 5 things is what this gross body is made up of. So when the Lord descends, as I mentioned, dharmasya glani, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyurthanam adharmasya. Whenever and wherever. Though the word yada yada is used twice, it doesn't mean the same thing. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious principles, I descend, I come down. Because this religion is given by the Lord and we are supposed to abide by that. But because of this extreme pride and ignorance, we are oblivious to it. We think, who is this? Why? Why should I care about it? But interestingly, the descent of the Lord, as mentioned in Bhagavatam, it happens when Bhumi Devi was overburdened because of the sinful reactions of the people, so many atrocities by so many cruel people. She goes to Lord Brahma, who has got 4 heads. It's a very fast processor. It can process any amount of information. And she goes and asks for help. Oh, Brahmadev, please help me. I'm overburdened. Please relieve me. At that time, Brahma didn't feel that he has all the solutions. Didn't feel that he knows everything, how to control this. Very humbly, he goes and asks for solution to the Supreme Lord. Mind you, the humility is the beginning of our spiritual life. If you really want to figure it out, everybody in this world goes through miseries. It's a painful place. Dukkhalayam asaswatam. This is what is the definition given by the Creator himself. And we are stuck here. We sometimes hide our miseries. We don't want this to be known to people. How much of anxieties, how much of stress, how much of frustration, how much of miseries we are going through. We don't want people to know. But you just, speak to someone, ask them how their life is, what's going on. Don't look at their Instagram and Facebook page. Ask them properly, how's life? Ask few things. Everybody is well decked up, nicely dressed, and they're sitting. And you also feel, oh my God, how nice that person's life is. But just inquire a little bit. The moment he opens up, all of us, without exception, are going through the same problems. And what are those problems? Which is very nicely put by Sankaracharya, where he says, Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani, jathare sayanam. Iha samsare, bahudostare, iha samsare, bahudostare. Kripaya pare, pahi murare. This is our life. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Again we are taking birth, again we are entering into the womb of a mother. Punarapi janani jathare sayana. Iha samsare bahudustare. Oh, the samsara is not a nice place. And we are stuck here, bahudustare. But we lack the humility. That is why he's saying, Kripaya pare pahi murare. Oh, call out to that compassionate Lord. He listens. He descends. He comes as, we did an elaborate abhishekam to the Lord. They are not some dolls. They are not some idols. It's a proper prana pratishtha which has been done. They are present in front of us. They are standing, waiting, willing to receive our service. Kripaya pare pahi murare. The moment a person realizes that he is helpless, he can't figure it out on his own. This is just too much. That's the beginning of spiritual life. That one becomes inquisitive, wants to find out. But unfortunately, because of the influence of the modes of passion and ignorance, we have, our minds are corrupt, intelligence is corrupt, goals are polluted, and we are misdirected completely. If you read carefully Bhagavad Gita, in 8th chapter, 15th verse, Krishna says, Maam upetyatu punarjanma, dukkhalayam asaswatam, napnuvanti mahatmanam, samsiddhim paramam gataha. People ask others, what is the perfection of life? What do you think is the perfection of life? Somebody says, if I can build an empire of my own, if I have a nice company, or I graduate from a good college and then get some good high-paying jobs, and then climb the ladders very successfully and quickly, and make a name for myself, have a YouTube channel followed by millions of people, all perfection of life. Bhagavad Gita is saying something else. He's telling, Mam upetyatu punarjanma, dukkhalayam asaswatam, napnuvanti mahatmana, samsiddhim. Samsiddhim is the highest perfection of life. You may become anything. You may become the Prime Minister of a country, the President of the country, the CEO of a company. You can start your own thing and you can become big in life. The highest perfection of life. Samsiddhim paramam gatim is, if you can take shelter of the Lord and go back to Him, then you will come out of this dukkhalayam asaswatam, napnuvanti mahatmana, no more taking birth in this life, in this material world. And the Lord descends, as I mentioned at the beginning, dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyurthanam adharmasya tadatmanam smijamyaham. For re-establishing the principles of religion, the Lord need not come down. There is no need for Him. Even the sages, the scriptures, if somebody takes the guidance of that, one can get to know about the religious principles. So then why does He come? Elsewhere it is mentioned, Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha duskritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. To protect the devotees and to annihilate the miscreants. Even the Acharya's comment, he doesn't come for that. There is no need for him to come down to protect the devotees. Just to protect the devotees, his energy itself is enough. To kill the miscreants, if the Lord situated in the heart comes out as Paramatma, person will be no more there. For that he doesn't have to come down. Why does he come then? Bhagavatam very beautifully presents this, and he says that why the Lord descends. And it's a very interesting thing to know. So Bhagavatam says why the Lord comes down, and he says, Anugrahaya bhaktanam manusam deham asthita bhajate tadrishi krida yashrutva tato paro bhavet. All the Vaishnava Acharyas unanimously conclude this is the reason why the Lord descends. Anugrahaya bhaktanam. Anugrahaya. Because of the compassion nature of the Lord. Anugrahaya bhaktanam. Apparently this story, Prabhupada mentions, that once Akbar and Birbal, they were going for a stroll by a river, and Akbar, in a puzzled way, Birbal is a Hindu religious minister. Akbar is a Muslim king. And Akbar asked this question, you people, celebrate so much of festivals, and in your tradition, why does the Lord personally descend? Is the situation so out of control that the Lord personally has to intervene to come to this filthy material world? Why does he come? Birbal at that time kept quiet. He didn't answer anything. He said, I'll explain to you, or he just kept quiet. Afterwards, once again they were going for a stroll. They were together. It was by a riverside, and they were both walking. And Birbal, what he did was, he threw one lookalike of Akbar's son into the river. From a distance, it appeared as if, Akbar's son is getting drowned. Akbar was going with his entourage. Birbal was there. There are other ministers, advisors, counselors. All of them were going. Did Akbar wait for someone else to jump into that, to save that child? Immediately, with his regal royal dress, robe that he was wearing, with that, without caring for anything, he himself jumped into that to protect that, to protect his child, just to realize that it was not his own son, it's some just, some doll, which was just to look alike. And then at that time, Birbal says, see, you didn't mind, you're a material father, you didn't mind going yourself, jumping into the river to protect your own son. The Supreme Lord, who is so compassionate, will he not come down? Anugrahaya bhaktanam manusam dehamastita. He comes down. He manusam deham. He just looks like us, takes a human-like form. Even if we see, because our eyes are not trained, we see even the deity form. Even if Krishna personally comes, we'll not be able to recognize, because seeing is not enough. We don't know about him. Duryodhana also saw the universal form of the Lord. There was no transformation. He thought it's some some magician or some mystical person showing some mystic power. When Arjuna saw, he saw what? Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. Because he was trained, the heart was purified, then the vision becomes different. And that vision has to be developed. Jnana Chakshu. When we see through the eyes of the scriptures or the eyes of the spiritual knowledge, we see things as they are, not what we want to see. So, Anugrahaya Bhaktanam Manusam Dehamastita. The Lord, out of His great compassion for people like us who are suffering in this material world, He descends. And He does wonderful pastimes. So wonderful those pastimes are. Why? Yaha Shrutva Tato Paro Bhaved. When we hear that, when we get to know about those things, then we develop a desire. Oh, Tato Paro Bhaved. I should go back. I should go back there. This is the only reason why the Lord descends and performs so many wonderful activities. Currently, our minds are captivated, engrossed, absorbed in all material things, material desires, material aspirations. There is no scope, no place for the Lord. So the mind needs to be purified. The purification process is the process of engaging in devotion, starting with chanting the names of the Lord. I can see that it is already late and we are about to have our final arti, and some of you are struggling to keep yourself awake, right? As a speaker, I keep my eyes closed maybe 70% of the time. But even in that 30% of the time, you'll see how the people are, Baba, kya ho raha hai? But believe me, with my humble this thing, I will say you, this is not my words. These are not this, that, if I speak, I'll become some very famous person. None of those. These words are Krishna's. These words are of Bhagavad Gita's. These words are very powerful. Unfortunately, we are so conditioned because of ignorance. We don't know our true position, that we are eternally part and parcel of the Lord. And we are struggling here. Mana Shasthani Indriyani Prakriti Sthani Karsati. Going through these problems, miseries, life after life. That's why the scriptures say, just wake up. Wake up, O sleeping souls. I've been telling this for last few days that, when Kumbhakarna was killed by Lord Ramachandra, his wife is Nidra Devi. She asks Lord Ram, my husband, my dear powerful husband, you have killed him. Where will I take shelter? So Lord Ram says, wherever there is Bhagavatam Katha, wherever the Bhagavatam speaker is speaking or narrating the glories of the Lord, to be present there. So usually when we start our Bhagavatam, we start with the invocation prayers. We say, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And then the eyes of the speaker, generally, I'm talking to myself, I close my eyes. And you look, after 10-15 minutes, half of the people are in a deep slumber, right? Nidra Devi comes. And what is the wake-up mantra in our ISKCON? Mahaprasade Govinde. Still there is some time for that. Oh, thoughtful men. My humble request, I am nobody. And you may not follow it. But this is the instructions which the Acharyas are giving. The pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada is saying, the Bhagavad Gita, the message of Bhagavad Gita and the message of Krishna, the Lord personally descends to this filthy material world just to reclaim us, just to take us out of this miserable tabernacle where we are stuck. And it is in Kali Yuga, though it is a horrible place, horrible time to live, we are blissfully oblivious about it. We're busy in our own lives. But by some dint of good fortune, if we come in touch with a pure devotee spiritual master and pay attention to his words, his instructions, then our relationship with the Lord gets revived. We can perfect our life, samsiddhim paramam gata, and we can achieve that highest perfection which we all deserve to, because we've got this human form of life. So on this auspicious day of Janmashtami, let it not become a ritual. Let it, people come and they do something. You see, so many people are here on a Janmashtami. As tomorrow itself you can come, just as an experiment. How many people will be here? Thousands of people come here on Janmashtami. Other days people are busy in their own life. Because we have not understood what is this life all about. Who am I? The ignorance about ourselves makes us do things which we are not supposed to. Kunti Maharani puts it in very nicely. Bhavesmin klishyamananam avidya kama karma bhi. Bhavesmin, this material world is klishyamananam. It's a very difficult place. Avidya kama karma bhi. Because of ignorance, we have so many material desires. We want to be happy by fulfilling our desires. Kama karma bhi. And we keep on doing material activities which entangles us. So that is why this human form of life, rare gift, even rarer is to come in touch with a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada. And the easiest and the most effective means of coming out of this material world is by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. My request to all of you is, chant every day 1 or 8 times this Mahamantra. It takes 10 minutes. I know all of you are busy. Every time you ask people, they'll say we're all busy. But just find 10 minutes and chant this 108 times, this names of the Lord. As Bhagavad Gita puts it in very nicely, Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yah prayati samadbhavam yati nasti atra samshaya. Do whatever you are doing. Doesn't matter, but if you are able to remember the Lord at the time of death, antakale cha mam eva smaran muktva. If you remember me alone and quit your body, antakale cha mam eva smaran muktva kalevaram yah prayati samadbhavam, you will achieve my state. Yati nasti atra samshaya. There is no doubt about it. But this cannot be done at the last moment. It has to be practiced. And this human form of life, whatever time we have got remaining, if we practice it, we can achieve that perfection. We'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Radha Damodar ki, Janmashtami Mahamahotsav ki.